Welcome to Buzz Around the Globe. US President Joe Biden issued a stern warning to Israel against reoccupying the Hamas-ruled territory, marking his first significant public effort to restrain the nation following the deadly Hamas assault that claimed over 1,400 lives, including at least 30 Americans. The attack, which took place on October 7, 2023, has been met with unwavering support from Biden for Israel's right to defend itself. Despite refusing to criticize Israel's retaliatory actions in Gaza, which have sparked concerns of a humanitarian crisis among UN officials, Biden cautioned against a full-scale occupation of the region. The Israel-Hamas war has seen a significant rise in casualties, with the death toll breaching 4,000 on 10th day of the war. Authorities in Israel stated that more than 1,400 people were killed in Hamas attacks, while the Gaza Health Ministry said that 2,670 Palestinians have been killed and 9,600 wounded in Israeli missile fire and shelling. In an interview with CBS News, US President Biden cautioned Israel against a full-scale occupation of the Gaza Strip. He said, "I think support Israeli occupation of Gaza at this point would be a big mistake. Look, what happened in Gaza, in my view, is Hamas, and the extreme elements of Hamas don't represent all the Palestinian people. And I think that it would be a mistake for Israel to occupy Gaza again. But going in and taking out the extremists, the Hezbollah is up north but Hamas down south, is a necessary requirement." However, he also emphasized the necessity of taking out the extremists in the area. Biden said, "There needs to be a Palestinian Authority. There needs to be a path to a Palestinian state." Biden did not think American troops would be necessary on the ground, as Israel has one of the finest fighting forces, even as American warships headed to the area amid growing clashes on Israel's northern border with Lebanon. A senior official in the Biden administration told the Associated Press that the US president is considering a trip to Israel in the coming days. While the travel plans have not yet been finalized, the official said discussions are underway after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu invited Biden on a solidarity visit. Earlier Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin assured Israel that, "We have your back," as he and America's top diplomat met Friday with Israeli and Arab leaders. There was no indication the US was trying to prevent an expected Israeli ground offensive into Gaza that could worsen a humanitarian crisis for the 2.3 million Palestinians trapped in the blockaded territory. The visits to the Middle East by Austin and Secretary of State Antony Blinken came as Israel escalated its war against Hamas militants in response to their shocking and brutal rampage last weekend. Blinken, shuttling among Saudi, Jordanian and other Arab leaders Friday after meeting with Israeli leaders in Tel Aviv the day before, also heard Arab demands for aid corridors to be opened for the Palestinians trapped in Gaza, and fears that any Israeli ground offensive could push countless Gaza residents into their countries. Earlier, last Friday, Israel demanded that some 1 million civilians evacuate northern Gaza for their own safety in anticipation of the expected invasion. Palestinians did indeed begin a mass exodus toward the southern part of the besieged territory, even as Hamas dismissed the evacuation as a ploy, and the UN warned of potentially disastrous consequences of so many people fleeing. In an unrelated event in Philadelphia, Biden said that, "We can't lose sight of the fact that the overwhelming majority of Palestinians had nothing to do with Hamas, and they're suffering as a result as well." He said he had directed his administration to work with the governments of Israel, Egypt, Jordan, and other Arab nations, and the United Nations, to send humanitarian relief urgently to those endangered by the war. The enduring alliance between the United States and Israel has its roots in shared values and strategic interests. The United States has consistently supported the existence of a Jewish state, making Israel its primary security partner. During the Cold War, US defense strategists recognized Israel as a valuable ally in countering Soviet influence in the Middle East. Over time, Israel also became a vital contributor to US efforts in counterterrorism. Today, Israel remains the United States' most trusted strategic partner in the Middle East. Both nations share concerns about Iran's nuclear aspirations and its backing of Islamist militant groups, notably Hezbollah and Hamas in Lebanon. As a result of these mutual interests, the United States has made commitments to ensure Israel's military superiority over potential regional adversaries. By law, the US government is obligated to prevent any arms sales to other Middle Eastern states that could undermine Israel's military edge. Since the end of World War II, Israel has been the recipient of more cumulative foreign aid from the United States than any other country. While economic assistance was significant between 1971 and 2007, Israel's robust economic growth from the 1990s led to a shift towards predominantly military aid. In fact, over half of the foreign military aid requested by President Biden for fiscal year 2022 was designated for Israel. According to a 2016 Memorandum of Understanding, the United States has committed to providing Israel with nearly $4 billion annually, which includes $500 million for missile defense. Additionally, following the 2021 Israel-Hamas conflict, the US supplied an extra $1 billion in missile defense funding. Do tell us what you think about this video in comments section, and for more news updates, subscribe to India Today.